where we take a moment in the middle of our week to stop and reconnoiter and take a moment to remember the truth of who we are and continue our week from that consciousness. And I'm excited to say that for the first time this year, we have people in this sanctuary for this service. It's so exciting. I get to talk to people, both in the room and on the other side of the camera. So welcome, everyone. Shall we begin this evening with prayer? If you go ahead and just close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. Let's just come to a full stop right in the middle of the week. Let's just come to a full stop and just be here. Be right here in this moment. And go ahead and allow your attention to rest on your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Just allow your awareness and your attention to rest and be right here in this moment. Knowing that in this moment, right where you are, right where I am, is the center of all that is. God has been described as an infinite sphere whose circumference is nowhere and whose center is everywhere. So right where you are, right where I am, is the center of infinite. And so know that coming to this place again of knowing the truth of who and what we are is important. It matters. As we lift our energy into the knowingness of the truth of our being as being one with this infinite life, with this expansive wisdom, with this universal intelligence, with this unconditional love, as we come into that knowing and rest in it once again, raising our own vibration, we raise the vibration everywhere. It ripples out from us forever and ever to infinity and beyond. And so let us just do that right now. Just affirm once again the truth of who we are, knowing that it is important that we do so, that it matters that we do so, that in doing so, we are blessings to ourselves and to the greater whole. And so it is. Amen. So I wanted to continue a little bit from last week. Last week we talked about what being present in this now moment means. And we talked about that we kind of needed to define it into two parts, this being present in the now, the first part being present, and the second part being in the now, or in this moment. And for part one, when we talk about being present in the now, we're referring to a quality in the way we are present, that it's more of an inner experience rather than an outer one. It's something we feel, a particular form of awareness, a felt sense of connecting with the present moment. And for part two, the now, I shared how most of us think of the now as a moment sandwiched between the past and the future, that point where the future becomes the past. But when we think about the now in these terms, we're really not getting to the core or the root of what the now is, because time is an illusion. Time, per se, doesn't exist. In reality, now is all that exists. So talking about the now in relationship to something doesn't exist doesn't really get us anywhere, so to speak. The past doesn't exist. If it were to exist, where would it be? We can't be in it. We can't take action in it. We can't change it. It is made up of memories and causes. We can only change our understanding of the past, and that is something that we can only do from here in the now. The future doesn't exist. If it were to exist, where would it be? Again, we can't be in it. We can't take action in it. And so the now is what is. And there's nothing else. So one definition of living in the now means being mentally and emotionally present in what is. But defining it doesn't mean that we do it. Oh yeah, right, got it. I'll just do that from now on. So what keeps us from being emotionally and mentally present in what is? Ernest Holmes Svensson, in his book, How to Live in the Now, writes that this is due in a large part to the way that our brains are designed. There are two things that work against us being easily and naturally in the now. And the first is that we have this self-organizing brain or neural network, which in a nutshell functions by creating patterns which allow it to automatically process and manage the staggering amount of input we encounter on a daily basis. Ernest goes into great detail, which we don't have time for here tonight. Tonight you're getting the Cliff Notes condensed version, but grab his book if you find this intriguing to you. So this pattern-making ability means that we can operate on autopilot, just letting our brains run things while we, and here's the second thing that works against us, while we think about other things. How many times have you been driving down the road, lost in thought, and suddenly you come to and don't remember having driven the last 5 or 10 miles? That's your autopilot at work. And it's a very useful thing, and we would be overwhelmed without it. So that second thing that works against us, thinking about other things while on autopilot, we human beings have this lovely ability to imagine alternatives to what is and to focus on what is not. We can think about things that will happen in the future. We can think about things that have happened in the past, things that may or may not happen to others or may not be currently happening to others. And we can speculate about what we would like to be different in this moment, such as, it's too hot, I want it to be cooler, or it's raining, I want it to stop raining, I wish it would stop. Or, ooh, wouldn't that salmon taste better with a garlic lemon butter sauce? All of this conspires us to direct our mental and emotional energy away from the now. And when we do this, we're not present in the now. Ernest describes it this way. The problem with our ability to consider alternatives is that it has become a permanent state of mind for the vast majority of people. We expend about 85% of our time and energy speculating about things which are not real, about what we think will happen tomorrow, about what happened yesterday, about how we think the things that are happening right now should be different. And we only have a limited attention span, so we leave what is to the autopilot. And this is fine, right now, and it's fine to do so right now and then. The problems arise when it spreads to larger and larger parts of our lives, when we're also doing it while cooking or gardening or tucking in the kids or talking to our friends, while eating, working, when it eventually becomes so much of a habit that in fact, the autopilot is never switched off, and we end up being never present in the here and now, because life happens in the here and now. So when we cut ourselves off from the now, we cut ourselves off from life, and thereby the only real source of meaning in our existence. We become captives in our brain's invisible prison and end up living life once removed, always nearly living, yet cut off as if we were stuck behind a sheet of glass. We no longer feel our existence. It's like eating the menu instead of the meal. The description may sound delicious. There may be pictures and the whole thing may be beautifully presented. But in the end, it's still just a piece of cardboard covered with ink and with no nutritional value whatsoever. It will leave us feeling empty and disappointed. The experience of happiness, fulfillment, and meaning can only happen in the now. It requires us to break out of the prison of the mind and embrace the real food instead of the menu. So why does this happen? Why do we end up letting autopilot run the show, especially for those of us who know the value and importance of being present? Ernest tells us that the reason we focus so much of our awareness outside of the now is that we are struggling to preserve our identity. He defines our identity as the collection of patterns, beliefs, values, opinions, and habits with which we identify and which we have gradually come to believe is us. The problem with that is that our identity is another illusion. This illusion that we are our identities is pretty much the source of all of our problems. When we believe we are our identity, we need to devote energy to constantly maintain it. We defend it, we reaffirm it and confirm it. And our investment in this illusion, in this set of limitations, not only steals our awareness away from the now, it narrows and binds our actual limitless potential. Ernest tells us that ultimately, what keeps us out of the now is our own aversion to it. Our identities thrive on the past and the present and being anywhere but now. The ability to be present in the now is therefore primarily dependent on one thing: acceptance. The more we're able to accept the now as it is, the less energy we have to use on defending ourselves against it. And the less we struggle against the now and just accept it as it is, the better we're able to be at rest in it. When we accept what is and are present with it, new ways of responding reveal themselves to us. When we are not accepting what is, we are expending the majority of our attention and energy on being in resistance to it, defending ourselves against it or protecting it, and not allowing for change, rather than being present to what is, and therefore present to the wisdom and intelligence and divine ideas that are also present in the now. When we are not in the now, we miss out on the fullness of life. We miss out on the depth of the beauty of a sunrise. We might drive right by it. We might miss out on experiencing the palpable presence of the forest because we're rehashing an old argument. We miss out on the deep pleasure of children's laughter, of a cat's purr, of the magic of a hummingbird outside of our window. We might miss out on the experience of connection. When we are not in the now, we miss out on true soul fulfillment. We miss out on the gifts of the infinite that are only present in the present. Presence of being present. Since the now is truly all that is, being with or in what is allows us to access fully the gifts of unconditional love, of the vast wisdom of the infinite, the experience of the magnificently intricate intelligence, the felt sweetness of the joy of life. It only exists for us when we are right here, right now, in this now motion, in this now moment, as emotionally and mentally and consciously aware and awake and present as we can be. Will you join me now for a time of meditation? And this meditation again is adapted from one by Ernest Holmes Svensson. So will you again go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath. And allow yourself to arrive wherever it is that you are, in whatever room that you're in, whatever it is that you're sitting on or lying on. Allow your body to settle into this now. Allow it to be comfortable, however it wants to do so. Notice any tension or tightness or sensations or movements that it does to make itself comfortable. And trust that your body knows what to do to become comfortable, for there is a wisdom in every cell of your body that does know just what to do to be comfortable. So just allow your body to land right here, right now. And as you settle in, begin to notice the sounds that you can hear around you. Experience the sounds that are present with you in this moment. What can you hear right here, right now? Some sounds may be nearby, and some may be farther away. Some may be constant, and some may be coming and going. See if you can stay here and let the sounds come to you instead of you traveling to where they seem to come from. Simply stay right here, right now, and receive the experience of this moment. Simply be present, right here, right now. Whatever you were doing earlier, it's over now. You can let it go. And whatever you might be doing later, right now, it can wait. You are right here, right now, and that's all that's needed. And now become aware of your breath. Notice the movements of your body as the air travels into your body and then out into the world and into your body and out into the world. You don't have to change anything or adjust anything. Simply notice this movement of air connecting you and the world. Each breath is completely unique, perfectly adjusted to the needs of this specific moment. And all you have to do is experience it. The movement of the air, the movement of your body. Simply trust this process of breathing as it supports you right here, right now. You are right here, right now, noticing your breath. And that's all you have to do. And if you discover that you've traveled on a journey somewhere, that your thoughts have brought you along to some far-off place, just notice, smile, let the thoughts go and come back. Come back to this moment, to this experience of sitting here right now, of breathing, listening, sensing this moment. And again, if you discover that you've wandered off somewhere, just return to this moment and do so with an open heart. And do it with a smile. There's nothing wrong with traveling away. It's as natural as every other process in your life. It's what the mind does. And all you have to do is keep returning as you settle in deeper and deeper into this present moment, right here, right now. And if you notice that you've wandered off again, it's no problem. Just come back and settle in even deeper into this moment, this now, this breath, this experience. Just land deeper and deeper into your experience of this moment now. And again, if you discover that you've traveled on a journey somewhere, that your thoughts have brought you along to some distant shore, just notice and smile and come back to this moment, this experience, right here, right now, of breathing, of sitting, of listening, of being. It's always here, this present moment. You can journey anywhere in your mind. You can travel in. You can travel in thought. And you can always, always return to this. The breath, the sounds, the experience of just being here in this present moment, right now. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and experience what it's like to step into the world from here.
We believe giving in its highest form is a spiritual practice, and we are grateful to be among the beneficiaries of your spiritual practice this evening. May your generosities of hand and heart return to you in untold ways as they reach into our greater world to bless.
I release and I let